Very good afternoon to all, and welcome to the second session of the day of the AICT sponsored ATAL Faculty Development Program on Research and Innovation Ecosystem in Academics, lead of the hour, organized by Vivekanand Education Society, College of Pharmacy, Chembur, Mumbai. It will be my pleasure to invite respected Dr. Subhashis Chakraborty sir on the stage. So please be on the stage. And I request respected Dr. Supriya Madam, Principal, BS College of Pharmacy, to felicitate Dr. Subhashis Chakraborty sir with sapling.
Welcome, sir. Thank you. I see you.
Thank you. You can take the chair. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce you to today's speaker for this session, Dr. Subhashis Chakraborty sir. He is a PhD in Pharmaceutical Sciences from IIT Banaras Hindu University. He has more than 40 years of rich experience with different MNCs at senior management profile in diversified portfolio, including R&D, business development, sales and product management. Presently, Sir holds the position of General Manager, Global Product Management in ACG Capsules. In this role, he is responsible for spearheading the new capsule technology for pharmaceutical and nutraceutical applications, right from development till commercialization. Before this, Dr. Chakraborty was associated with Unique India Private Limited for 10 years in different capacities of Regional Sales Director, Director of Key Account Management, Head of Business Development and Contract and Head of Technical Services for the Asia South region, with a focus on supporting major pharma companies in developing complex injectable using biodegradable polymers. Sir has also worked for 3 years with Lupin Research Park at the initial stage of his career as a formulation development scientist. Sir has more than 40 international scientific publications and 2 book chapters to his credit. He has received numerous awards and recognition throughout his life for both academic and professional achievement. He has awarded the IIT BHU Alumni Association Publication Scholarship Award consecutively for 2 years, 2009 and 2010. He was also honored with Best Alumni Award from his alma mater for his extensive career achievement. Apart from his corporate career, Dr. Chakraborty has recently authored his debut non-fictional book, Happiness Decoded. Congratulations, sir. It is now available on all international platforms, including Amazon. So, requesting everyone, please read this. Dr. Chakraborty is very passionate about students and likes spending time with them as a coach, mentor, and career counselor. Today, sir is going to talk.
The scientist knows about the capsules in details, but unfortunately, it's not. They only know capsule as a container. So that's where the education to the customers are also important from our end, and that's what we do, so that they understand what is behind it. What is the composition of these capsules? You see the shell, I told about only gelatin, but there could be other materials also in that. Okay, because it is required for the film formation. Right? So let's go ahead, and that's where I'm saying that it's a paradigm shift, that now things have changed significantly, there are a lot of developments which is happening, okay, and will come across. So before I talk about the capsules, it's important for me to at least acknowledge the company ACG, who was there in this particular field for the past 60 years. Okay, and it's a proud moment also for us because as an Indian company, it's an Indian company which is there for the past 60 years and almost being at the top level in the world. Okay, so this is a statement which I'm making with a lot of confidence, okay, and responsibility that we probably will be the number one in the world. Okay, and it's a big achievement for a company to be a part of it in this company. So if you see that it is not only about capsules, but there are packaging systems also, the films and foils, which is required to create the aluminum foils and all. And then there are engineering part, we'll talk about a little bit about that. And then there is a track and trace, means basically the camera, inspection camera, where in the line we use this camera in order to detect the issues related to any of the products, be it tablets or capsules. So ACG calls itself as an integrated pharma manufacturing solution. Okay, so we have all across with oral drug delivery system, right from the capsules to the tablets. Okay, you talk about any machines is available with us, compression machine for capsules, right from the pelletizer, the bottom spray, okay, where you prepare that granules kind of pellets, okay, and then take it forward till it is machined or cartoned, okay, till the final package. So this is our global presence. So when I say that we're going to be number one, that's because we can see where we are moving ahead. If you see the manufacturing facilities, it's all across the world. We are also expanding. I don't disclose all those names, but we are not only in India but also in Brazil, in Croatia. We are expanding further in the Western world, also in the Southeast Asian region. One more is going to come in Aurangabad. So why I'm saying all this is that there are opportunities coming in. Okay, even in the capsule field, there's huge amount of opportunity coming in, provided we have an inclination towards that area. Okay. History of capsules. Okay. So, as I said, capsule has been known for donkey years. Okay, it's nothing a new product. It's been there since 180 years. And that Calonicals got started in Greece and all, and then the soft gelatin capsule came in 1934. In 46, this two-piece gelatin first came out, okay, and then finally in 1989, it was the hard HPMC capsule which came into being. Okay, so if you have heard about gelatin, it's there since long, okay, more than 2 centuries altogether. And if you talk about the HPMC capsules, it's there for almost 30 to 40 years now. So, what does capsule do? Okay, so, what we have tried to do with capsules is to help meet the unmet needs of the solid oral dosage form ecosystem. Okay. Say, for example, stability. Stability is an issue. There are multiple, if you cannot expose the powder or the granules as such, and just ask the customer or the patient to take it. So, there is the issue of stability. Sometimes you require to combine certain films, two different types of drugs to be put into one. So for that you require a solution. There are cultural requirements. Okay, not every region accepts. Gelatin probably may be restricted in certain area. You must have heard about this halal and kosher certifications, right? Very, very important. From a business standpoint, if you don't have that, probably you'll be missing out certain regions like the Middle East areas, where it is a mandatory thing. Solubility is also an issue where capsule makes a lot of difference. We'll talk about it later. Moisture sensitivity, okay? Machine and compatibility. Compatibility of drugs, and it's more or less it is connected with this combination film, where you have multiple drugs together into one, and then the modified release. Okay, if you want to modify your drug release, then there are certain capsules which can help you to maybe support or complement your release profile to a certain extent. Okay? There are regulatory requirements, clinical studies, I'll show you this is very interesting clinical studies. I got some samples also with mine so that you can understand. So what you have in your hand and what you're going to have after some time will be completely different. Okay? And it will be interesting. Then specialized application and customization. So it gives us a space where you can customize certain things depending upon specific requirement. Okay. So if I talk about manufacturing technology, how is it manufactured? So capsules, if you see it requires certain shape. Okay, all capsule shapes are the same, more or less. Okay. Now these are called as we call them as pin bars or molds. Okay, which are used to these are pair of molds in which you dip. Just take it ahead. Okay, so this is the dipping solution. Okay, HLFN solution or HPMC solution, and these are bars which are dipped. Okay, and taken out, and then they are taken on a conveyor belt. Okay, so taking them on a conveyor belt is to help them dry. Okay, so the drying can be done using good amount of temperature or even without temperature, just by air drying. And then there is a process called as cutting, because you see this. So these are for all uneven surfaces on the top. So you need to have, now if you see the capsules, the edges are very smooth, okay, very uniform. So that uniformity is required. Okay, so then they are done, then they are stripped out. So take it out from the mold and then join them. Okay, when I am saying joining, it's in the pre-lock situation, the way you see it. Okay, and then if you see this is a pre-locked, pre-closed, and then the closed one. So therefore there are two locks. You see this one, this, right? So you push it and then it gets locked. Okay, after that it will be difficult to open. But now there are also concept called as sprinkle capsules. You've heard of sprinkle capsules, where you have the pellets inside and you're supposed to open the pellet, put it into a sauce and then consume it. Okay, if you want to check it, you can go for esomeprazole Nexium brand. Okay, and dexlansoprazole. So these are, when in US it's a requirement. Why? Because some of the patients cannot engulf it, so it has to be taken with food. So, or maybe apple sauce or something like that. So, so this is the locking status. So whatever you see is the pre-lock, and then when it goes into the machine, these are opened up. Okay, the first step is to open it, and then the fill is done, and then you put it, close it, shut. Right? I was talking about the sizes. See the amount of numbers of sizes that is available. Okay, this is only the standard thing which I am showing you, just for ease of understanding. There are multiple things in between this, in between this, in between this, and even beyond this. Okay, so these are kind of elongated. We say it double zero EL means little extra elongated. Okay, so these are kind of customized capsules which are required, and these requirements are not small, right? The requirement comes in millions. So for that, you require a separate set of pin bars or those molds. So those manufacturing has to be done with that amount of precision. Okay, I hope you are able to understand the sensitivity of this, that what amount of precision goes in manufacturing of those pin bars, because that is what sets the foundation for the size of the capsules. Okay, and then you have pin bars, thousands of pin bars going together, and all pin bars are the same dimension. Okay, and there will be a very minor tolerance level of differences in microns. Okay, and there is also something called as size 9. Okay, you don't see that. It's very tiny size, but they are used for animal studies, because you even cannot push this into the animal's throat. I had a big problem during my research. I was not knowing about this size 9, and I had to break my, I had to justify my defense panel to say that this is the only thing which I could do. Okay. But now I know that there is also something called as size 9. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to get that because no one is going to manufacture it. But there is a possibility of going to size 9. Now let's talk about HPMC. Okay, HPMC has actually come out very well. Okay, as an alternative to gelatin. By default, if you just break your head, you will be able to understand why gelatin is a problem, because of the source. Okay, so not everyone would be comfortable with gelatin. Okay, they may be taking it by force, but somewhere or the other, in the subconscious mind, there will be some kind of resistance that no, I would prefer not to go with gelatin. Especially in India, where we have vegetarian population and huge, and you're talking that I have been vegetarian entire life, and then you're taking capsules. Okay, so it's a nuisance. So now this HPMC concept has come in, and as I said, it's almost 20-30 years this HPMC is there. So HPMC has come out really well because And HPMC, it has a wide use not only in the capsules but also in the coating industry. Okay, tablet coating, HPMC is used widely. So these are vegetarian capsules. They have this EAC, BSC free. They are inert. Okay, and there's no cross-linking. This is interesting because with gelatin there are possibilities of cross-linking. The molecular composition of gelatin is such that there could be a possibility of cross-linking, which, and if you see HPMC, it's completely inert, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, and it's suitable for moisture-sensitive ingredients because this HPMC, the inherent moisture content is quite low. It's around 7 to 8%. When I say 7 to 8%, with respect to gelatin, it's almost 13 to 14%. So if you are dealing with a API with a high, it's sensitive to moisture, probably with gelatin the stability won't come out well. You need to have an HPMC. And let me tell you, this HPMC is becoming extremely popular in the US. Okay, we can see the trend happening. Everyone shifting to HPMC. Okay, not just about Nutra, but also from the pharma standpoint. And it's suitable for hygroscopic ingredients because of inherent, it doesn't have its own moisture, right? Okay, so now I'm going to open up the entire the gamut of capsules which is available. Where I have divided into 4 different segments just to help you understand from an application point of view. So you have immediate release, then there is modified release capsules, then there are special application capsules, and the value addition capsules. So there are multiple areas where you can use these capsules. If I talk about this immediate release capsules, GR and HR, say CG Caps is basically the brand name that we have. GR and HR are the normal capsules. What you having in your hand is the GR capsule, gelatin capsules. Okay. And then there is H plus capsule. We have, the nomenclature is H plus, where the manufacturing happens by hot pin method. Okay, so when I say hot pin means that you saw the pin bars, which are dipped into the solution and then taken out. So in this case, this one, the pins which are dipped are already hot. Okay, so when it goes, it picks up and the thermoregulation happens on surface of the on the molds. Okay, so it's not a natural film forming, but through the application of temperature, we are converting the solution into a film. Okay, so that's the process of film formation. And there is another HA where there is some modifications done because we also use release modifier agents to a certain extent. We use carrageenan because they help in they complement the film formation process. Capsules, you hold the capsule and then it goes brittle, or it's not acceptable, right? So you need a agent which can actually help in proper film formation. The entire theory of capsule formation is film formation. So you need to have the right amount of ingredients which can help in the film formation process. So this HA has similar kind of the film formation agent, which is carrageenan, but in a lesser concentration. So when you use it at a lesser concentration, it becomes it gives a different profile, release profile. Okay, and that's the reason that we tweak with the ingredients in order to reach out to a different release profile capsules. Okay, and depending upon what your requirements are, what fits well with you is something you can pick. HX. Okay, so madam was asking about this delayed release. Yeah, so one is an entry capsule. Okay, which as per the pharmacopoeia requirement you need 2 hours, right? Like the entry coated tablets, omeprazole, pantoprazole, they will not release in 0.1 normal HCl, okay, for 2 hours. That's for sure. Okay, but with capsules we don't have that product. Okay, it's there are a lot of patents around it, but having this kind of product is very difficult because again the polymers which are required, we haven't been able to reach out to that level where it can create that film. Okay, so this product is there which can only reduce or delay the release of the drug till half an hour. Rest in 5 or 10 minutes it opens up. But when you talk about this HX capsules, they have gelangam and pectin involved in that. So this gelangam and pectin, they behave differently in different pH conditions. So when you add it into 0.1 normal HCl, it is not soluble, okay, and therefore it will resist the release of the capsules in that. So, but yes, it is only 30 minutes. We are yet to reach. We actually developed a product with halides, okay, which could give at least an hour of release, delayed release. But then it's halides. Okay, I mean, if you know about the regulatory situation of halides, it's really difficult. You cannot market in Europe. So let me tell you, Europe has been really nasty in terms of picking up the different excipients. So they are very choosy. They keep on doing those searches and keep on eliminating some of the good excipients from the market. And recently I'll talk about that later on. But because of those, then the rest follow. Okay, and so the halides is something which there is a little bit of reluctance in using. Special applications is capsules with this is for liquid filling. Then we have for powder inhalations. Okay, in inhalations also capsules are used. GC, which is clinical, used in clinicals, and then GT, which is these are capsules. We call these capsules. These are not exactly. I'll talk about it when the slide comes in. Then we have T-safe, the natural colored. When you use color, it's not only the synthetic one. Sometimes there is a requirement of natural colors in order to suit the neutral industry. And then this is basically a printing. Printing is also an option, okay, which also needs to be understood that this is another science and another technology altogether. And then there are Paul's capsules which fits into the cosmetic industry. Okay. So let's talk about the immediate release quickly. Okay, so as I said that this is GR and HR made from gelatin and HPMC. Okay. What would be interesting for you to know is that this H plus, which I spoke about, prepared by thermogenation process. Okay. See the release profile in different pH. This is interesting. Why? Because HPMC is, it behaves irrespective of any pH, which is good. Okay, which is probably something that a formulation scientist wants. That okay, I'll have a capsule, but it should not affect my release profile of the content. It could be pellets or it could be powder, whatever it is. So that is where this H plus has gained a lot of attention, okay, in the US market, and the Nutra is like is just behind it. Unfortunately, we are not able to supply, or our supplies are lesser than the demand. Okay, so this is basically a great growth area for everyone. HA, as I said, this is a product where we have it's specifically for one product called as dabigatran exhalate, where you require the release profile in 0.01 normal HA, which is pH2. Okay, so this is a generic requirement. So in order to fit into that, there was tweaking done in the content of the carrageenan, and we have reduced it so that it can fit into the samples. So the innovator samples and the ACG capsule samples almost they overlap. So let's go to the modified release capsules. Okay. So these are the modified release where we use a normal disintegration process, and it's just half an hour that we claim that it can stop the release of the content only for 30 minutes. And if you do a study in 0.1 normal HCl followed by 6.8, although it's not claimed, but there is a possibility where it can reduce or retard the release of the drug. Okay? So this may not be applicable for an enteric kind of drug release where you need a 100% or maybe 10% max to max 10% release in 0.1 normal HCl. But to a certain extent, this can help. And this product is widely used. We have an extremely huge requirement from a probiotic standpoint. Probiotics, enzymes, okay, which are susceptible to acidic degradation, is something which is which this HX helps. Okay, so the entire requirement of HX goes into the probiotic liquid. Okay. Now let's talk about capsules for special applications. I think these are my favorite pictures. Okay. Capsules for liquid filling. So when I say liquid, it's not water. It's always oil. Okay. And it could be an emulsion, but still emulsion could be because there are aqueous systems in that. But there's a lot of liquid products which are being used, but yeah, they are more focused on the nutraceuticals. Now, in this case, there could be two kinds of products where you put in the liquid, okay, and it remains a liquid, and the other is you put in a liquid and it solidifies. That means that you're dripping the liquid at a certain temperature. Okay, at a higher temperature, it is in the liquid form, and then when it comes to the room temperature, it solidifies inside. So, in the earlier case where it's only liquid, okay, then you need to have a banding. Okay, you see this? There are bands. Okay, this is another micro technique which is used. Imagine the amount of micro level work which is required at the machine level in order to get this banding done. Okay, and then this is another science. Banding is another science because it requires understanding of the polymer, which polymer it should be, compatible with this one. Usually, if it is HPMC, we use HPMC, but if the capsule is a little of different kind of content, then this also needs to be changed. When you change the composition of the banding solution, then again the other thing which you need to understand is whether it has got the same film forming property or not. Okay, and you cannot imagine that you do the banding and after some time it will get dried. It has to happen immediately. Otherwise, then the banding will drip, and then you won't get this kind of, you'll see the tears coming out of the capsules. Probably that will not be accepted in the market, right? So that's where these are alcoholic solutions which are used with HPMC. Okay. Very critically, the recipes has been finalized, and there are machines, band sealing machines specifically for this kind of product. Now, it's very interesting that it's not only that you can put in liquid, you can put another capsule inside it and also cover it through liquid. So basically, the combination show that I was talking about, right? One capsule, you take a size 0 capsule and you put one liquid, okay, any liquid that you feel, and then since it is incompatible with another liquid, you put the second liquid into another small capsule and put it there. Okay, so capsule in capsule, pellets in capsules, pellets and liquid in capsules. Okay, just think wide, and it's possible here. Okay, the only thing is that the liquid has to be oily in nature. Okay, and if you are talking about temperature, so then also need to understand that these capsules need to withstand that temperature. We call it as it takes a banana shape. You put the heated liquid and then it takes a banana shape. That means it's gone, right? So that's a defect. You have heard of tablets chipping, breaking, right? All those. So we say it as banana. Okay, banana over here, gone, right? So if you try to look at it from a broader perspective, what does this liquid fill offer? It's a very exciting area. If you don't want to have too much of depth of research, but you want to have a fancy research, this is, I think, this opens up a lot of stories for you. So you can add colors to it, okay, wide range of colored capsules, and then you can have taste and odor masking, okay, because that would be like soft gelatin capsules. This, what is it called, omega-3, yeah, fish oil. So those have a pretty bad smell. Okay, and now if you want to do something, okay, it's just a thought which came right now. Okay, so you can take a small capsule, put all those, and then on top you add another liquid which is flavored. Okay, so by the time it goes, the first flavor comes out. Okay, that masks. I discovered something right now. This could be done. Okay, try out. If it works, please let me know. So, and then the band sealing is tamper evident. This is tamper proofing is another thing that also needs to be, because this is a product, I'll talk about it later on, where the product came in because they wanted to have a tamper proof product, okay, where capsules help. Liquid plus pellets, capsules, even you can introduce tablets in there. Okay, so this is also possible. Customer attraction, by default, who will not like, if you have something, first of all, now you have a capsule and you just put it there. But if this is kind of capsule, you first look it, enjoy it, and then insert it. Okay. And then what are the different challenges? High viscosity, can be managed. Incompatibility of poorly soluble ingredients. Okay. So there's a lot of possibilities, right? A lot of possibilities. That's what is this more fascinating when you talk about liquid filling, process. So let's not only focus on nanoparticulate system, liposomal system. Okay, there are a lot of fancy things. When you talk about this, I'm sure your entire panel will be interested to know this is looking good. And you can take good pictures with your camera. You have good cameras. Those pictures will be much more appealing than your nanoparticles, which you cannot see anything about. By the way, my entire project was on nanoparticles. Okay. Okay, so inhalations. This is a very another area, because there are when you talk about inhalations, these inhalers are there, but there are dry powder inhalers where the entire content in the powder form is filled into capsules. Okay, and then this is the device, and I hope you can. This is clear to you. There is a container where you take out the capsule, put it there, and you punch it. Okay, so this is a destructive method of bringing the content out. So when you punch it, that hole forms. That hole basically gives you the space to suck in the content. Okay, this is very critical. This product is for pharma, very critical. Okay. Now before I go to the second slide, any idea about what would be critical here? Okay. Puncturing is there. Puncturing hona chahiye.
No, otherwise there are chances that the capsule may get, if brittle capsule is there, that may be broken down in
But breakage is required, right? Breakage is required. I mean, what should happen is that it should break, right? It should go inside, and when the puncture, the pointer comes out, it should not close. Okay, so a certain level of brittleness is required. What I'm saying.
alignment of capsule.
Alignment in the sense.
Complete content should get.
Very nice. Okay, the content. This particular drug delivery system is a pulmonary drug delivery system. Okay, and mostly they are connected to steroidal intake. Okay, so now why the entire content should come out is that it's very critical. The content, if you are providing 10 milligram is the dose, okay, and the content gets stick to the capsule inside. I mean, you are trying to save a patient and you give the puncture and he dies. Why? Because he didn't receive the entire content of it. Or on the other hand, you have done a study and you know that this is the retention and this is the only amount of drug which should go, but then you puncture it and he takes in the entire thing, again he dies. Right? So it's important to balance that out. That what is the retention? Right? See this. This is not a product that I would prefer. Why? Because most of the content is getting stuck. And see this? Okay. Static charge. Static charge between the inner surface of the capsule and the powder. Okay. So what we do is we do a lubrication process. Okay, we use certain level of oils in a very controlled manner. This lubrication is required because they can avoid that static charge. Okay, and it's understood that a certain portion of the drug would be there, so it's calculated. It's around 1 to 1.5% at the max. Okay, but beyond that or more than that may cause a problem. Okay, so these are certain things which are quite important, and we see this. You can look into the same pictures also. You can see the entire drug getting stuck to the wall of the capsule, and here it is clean. Okay, so happy that we spoke that about. Good. Now, next sample. Yeah. Next sample. good that we have only so many people, otherwise I would have fallen short of that. Is it the same or different shape?
The gap is long.
What is different? What do you see?
Gap.
The diameter is the
Gap?
Diameter.
Diameter is bigger,
Gap is also longer gap.
longer gap. Right. And what else?
it's difficult to
Correct. Difficult to open. Okay. Now this is also in the pre-lock. I don't know if you have pressed it. It's in the pre-lock. Now try to close it.
It is not getting it.
Close it. Push it back. Chipka. Okay. So what will happen? The body will go inside. Okay. And it gets stuck. Now why is it good?
Locking colors, locking color.
Blocking is good. I mean, it has been done intentionally. But why?
double lines.
Village with double.
ये तो यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है, पढ़ रहे हैं। Okay, so the reason is that once in double blind studies, I have done it myself once. So I was there in the clinical the hospital, and I was getting one of my drug studied. So it was also not like this. All these was pure tablet form. But I saw some of the subjects trying to skip. What is their intention? Get the money. At the end of 1 or 2 days, they want the money and want to go home. They are poor guys, they're coming for money. But they also know that if they take the drug, because they are used to it, that's only their dhanda. Okay, that's only how they earn money. Okay, so these people, they know that if they take a drug, there could be a problem. Okay, internally they will face dizziness and everything. But if they can skip somehow, so what they do is sometimes it has happened in the past, they open it and throw the capsule out and take the dummy capsule. Okay. So now in this process, this is not possible. Once you lock it, the body goes into the cap, and if you try to pull it off, this is what will happen. Okay, so it will be visible on surface that you have tampered or you have tried to do. So your intentions, gets exemplified with this picture. It's directly coming what is there in your mind. Okay. So this clinicaps is an extremely sensitive area, very niche area. The requirements are smaller, but yes, wherever it goes, it makes a lot of difference for the entire clinical studies which is going on around the world. Okay. So people they pick up, there are different sizes also in this depending upon what you want to insert. It could be a small tablet, a bigger tablet. Okay. So there are what I've shared is a smaller size one, there are bigger capsules also. So these are the different sizes. It's not usually 1, 2, 3, 4. We call it as A, double B, and A and B elongated. Okay, so now we are dealing with capsules. Okay, now there's something called as a cap and a body in a capsule. Okay, but here there is in this GT, which is called as tablet enrobing technology. We also call it as capsules. Here we don't have a cap or a body. We call both as a body or both as a cap. Right? They both have the same dimension and they don't have a locking system. But then how is it used? Why is it used? These questions come in. So here these are used for to enrobe caplets, tablets in the form of a capsules. Okay, so they're put on top. Okay, and then there is a certain amount of heat applied so that the way we do this wrapping now, the plastic wrapping, or similar, it's an enrobing process. Okay, so there could be two ways of doing it. One is you have a capsule which just touches each other. This is the caplet. One goes on top, one goes on top. Okay, and then you apply a little amount of heat, and then it gets packed. Okay. The other way is that you leave a gap in between. Okay. Now the reason for putting a gap in between is that this portion will help. This portion, okay, will help in easy disintegration, quick disintegration, okay, of the product. And Tylenol is an extremely big brand. It's a huge brand which is marketed. This is acetaminophen, and it has been going for decades. Okay, and this product is available in this particular format. Now, why this came in? The reason being, initially it was in a different format, but then there was some, I think in 1940s or 50s, cyanide poisoning. I mean, there was a malfunction or some kind of claim which was done with them, and they put in cyanide. There was a lot of people dead. Okay, so they had to take out this product from the market, and then they felt like, how do I come out with this product is good. What should I do in order to put it in the market in a different way so that it will be tamper proof? They came out with this technology. Okay, and since then, this is still happening. Okay, so this is basically moving towards tamper proof product. Okay, it also gives a little bit of when you want to or bring certain thing in the market in a differentiated way. This could be an option. Okay, and there are aesthetically also looks good. You see this drug. Right? And we are dealing with some of our clients who are using this, but all going to the US market. India is not into this, but in US. So this also gives us a food for thought that there are possibilities where we can change the look, okay, and we can modify the release also. So we can see that this is also a process of release modification, okay, and it can also help in masking the bitter taste. We always go for high-tech systems in order to what do you do? Complexation, cyclodextrin, right? So, multiple approaches, and there is a simple technology. Okay, you have a tablet, just close it with the shells, and this, since it is made of gelatin, you can easily swallow it also. So, compared to a tablet, easily swallow. Value-added features. Okay, so I was telling you the problem with the European agencies. Okay, so they have come up with multiple. Recently, they are also talking about silicon dioxide. But this titanium dioxide has been something which is there recently. I mean, I would suggest that you go back and check out the situation of titanium dioxide. Extremely critical. Okay, titanium dioxide. It's an opacifier. World's best opacifier. Okay, there is nothing which can compare it. I have tried it myself for the past 1 year in ACG. I am doing this. Okay, and there is no match in the concentration in which titanium dioxide can give an opacity. At that concentration, forget it. Even if you go 5 times the concentration, you can get whiteness, but not on opacity, which is titanium dioxide can provide. Okay. But yes, what has happened is titanium dioxide coming in the nanoparticulate form. They have identified that it's risky. And in food, titanium dioxide goes like this. ये मोटी डाल दिया, वो मोटी डाल दिया. So it should be white. That is what the requirement is. Now, because of that amount of exposure, this titanium dioxide is presumed to be retained. The nanoparticulate system is retained in the body and it's not coming out, it's not getting eliminated, and this could be a probable reason for cancer in the future. Okay, so with this thought process, European agencies have banned titanium dioxide in food. And this August, last month, was the last date for using titanium dioxide in food. It's all gone now. Okay, no food can use titanium dioxide. Okay, now the question is about medicinal products. Okay, now in medicinal products, what would be the fate of titanium dioxide? Titanium dioxide is being used in more than 2,600 products in the world. Okay, now if you want to take out titanium dioxide, imagine the amount of changes which is going to happen. Entire color will change. One. If you are dealing with photosensitive drugs and you have used titanium dioxide for the sake of providing light protection, you don't have an alternative. That means you are exposing. Whether if you take out titanium dioxide, whether the therapeutic activity would still remain the same. I mean, it's okay to say that nothing is going to happen because it's just an opacifier. But how do you validate? Do you have data for that? All these questions will come up. Okay, and there has been a tremendous amount of discussion is already started in Europe. While we sit here, there is something going on in Brussels today. where there are discussions, the big forum which has come up with all the big MNCs. I talk about any MNC, they have come together, all have appointed their persons there, and they have gone to a consortium to discuss about the role of titanium dioxide and what could happen. Okay, there is also an article which has come in JPS. You should go through that. Okay, we are talking about big things, but there are minute things which can actually open up your brain and think about something different. That what could be an opacifier, an alternate opacifier. So we have tried calcium carbonate, starch, multiple things. It's working, but it's still not to that level. Does it not open up another process of thoughts to say that what could be an alternative? Can something be done for that? Okay. But the problem is that if you are talking about medicinal products, they cannot immediately implement it. Okay, because it's a matter of the life of the people. You just tell the companies that you don't want titanium dioxide, they would simply take it off. But then business is hampered, that's understood. But what about the health of the patients? Because they will strive for the medicines. There will be a shortage of medicine in the market. Okay? So they cannot take this European agency, they cannot take this risk or liability. Okay? So they have given certain amount of time to this to all pharma companies to come up, sit down together and find out what could be done as an alternative. And if at all they feel that no, it has to go ahead, okay, titanium dioxide has to go ahead, you need to have a proper justification for that. Mera titanium dioxide ke saath bina nahi chalega. If that is something which comes out, no, titanium dioxide is must, without this there is no other, the only option is to take the drug out of the market, then by default, European agencies will say yes. Okay, so there is a justification process going on, and for this, we are also getting stuck. Why? Because now we also need to develop calcium carbonate, titanium dioxide free capsules. You talk, you go, you meet some Colorcom guys or those people who are actually into this Idealicure guys, they're all doing all the same. Okay, but from a pharmaceutical standpoint, it's a very, very interesting topic. I mean, I couldn't get so deep into it, but the overall perspective is vast. It's going to impact the industry significantly. That's the reason I'm spending so much time in describing this entire theory. I have spoken to multiple MNCs across the world to educate them that what, because they also do not understand what is happening with titanium dioxide. They come to us to say that, please tell us what is your way forward. Okay, then we first describe that this is the reality and this is where you can go. And you have to live with this reality. Okay? I mean, you should not be, exposed to a marketing guy saying that okay? They won't understand the technicalities. We have to educate them, right? So that's another thought process, okay, where you cannot just be tuned to the market requirement. There is a market requirement, but there are technical challenges which also needs to be seen whether you are able to reach out to that market or not. Okay, so it cannot be on the whims and fancies of people around, but you have to have a technical background to discuss this, and that's where our role comes in play. So when I joined ACG, coming from a pharmaceutical background, I immediately understood the reality. Okay, and then it helped me to interact with those all MNCs and help them understand that this is what it is and this is what is your limitations. Don't think beyond this. Okay, so that's what I was trying to say, that is there a capsule here? No. So there, I don't know. So there was a capsule here. Okay. And I removed titanium dioxide and got another capsule here, which is completely transparent. Okay, that's the work of a capsule. Okay, that's the work of a capsule. So if you have a white capsule like this, okay, consider this as a capsule. Okay, this is completely opaque. And if you remove titanium dioxide, this is what you get. And when you add colors to it, it gives a matte finish. If you use pure color, it will have a shiny, but if you put titanium dioxide, it gives a matte finish. So it changes the texture of the color. It's very important. Color is a different subject altogether. Okay, I am also not very expert in that. But the market requirements, I want this, specifically neutral. Go to Himalaya, they say, no, I want only this, because there is a specific inclination of customers toward this color capsule. Okay. Now you want to give a banana flavor capsule and you put pink into that, it won't work. Or you want to give a strawberry flavor and you are giving blue, won't work. right? So all those color combinations has to be, these are all psychological, connections which are required. So titanium dioxide helps in that. Apart from that, it also gives the photo protection. I did a refractive index study. It came out fantastic. Zero transmittance of light. Right. Okay, so when I talk about color, there are a lot of colors which is related to synthetic colors. Okay. But in nutraceuticals, the trend is that my entire product should be vegan or natural, right? So that's where we have this end tone, which is called as the natural toned color, and all these ocean blue, sunny yellow, these are somewhere or the other derived from the natural sources, called purple carrot, which is coming from purple carrots, red radish, okay, then caramelized sucrose means jalawa chini, right? You make pudding will have I'm using raw words just to understand. That's how I understand. Okay, then sunny yellow, kurkuma, haldi. Then ocean blue, spirulina extracts. The only issue with natural colors is that they're, what would be the issue? Stability issue. Okay. So you can't expect that it will have 5 years or 10 years of expiry date. Other thing is also to be understood is batch to batch variations. Yeah, so the color shades may vary. Why? Because if it's coming from an algae, the algae may change its color depending upon the season. Right? Brand sheet. Okay. It's just a slide, but it's also important to understand this makes a huge difference in bringing the right visibility of a product in the market. So I'm giving you certain commercial inputs, although it may not be so work for you, but understanding is good. So all these gives a separate dimension and identity to a product in the market. Okay. So you'll see that there are certain, these are all psychological things, but a lot of studies which has been done saying that this particular shape, if you see the shape, immediately you connect it with a particular brand, right? So these all branding are done. Okay. Not only for product identity but also for anti-counterfeiting. Okay? So you do it in such a way that others cannot copy the same image. Now this image, it's a very complicated image. Imagine such a small capsule that is in your hand. You have such a tiny, accurate. I have zoomed this one out, but you see there is no spillage, okay, of the print. So that's an accurate printing. Yes, that's also a technology. That means you need to have those inks which should not spread across. You put it and then it's done. Right? So this helps in anti-counterfeiting approach. Pearls is something that don't deal too much with it, but yes, when it comes to cosmetic applications, drugs with cosmetic applications. So there it's again an oral drug delivery systems, but in order to fit into that cosmetic range of products, we use mica-based colors. Okay, so those mica-based colors gives this kind of shine. If you are able to see, I'm not able to see it from here, but that shine is there. Okay, that shine basically connects it to the cosmetic range of products. Okay. So more or less that's the entire universe of capsules. Okay. At the same time, it's very important that the certifications are there in place. So, say for example, whenever we take up a product for development, the first thing that we do is to get them regulatory checked. Say for example, we want to develop a product, and that's for the, there is polymer, gelatin, HPMC. But there are also, say for example, oils, okay, which are used for lubrication, okay, of the capsule. Then there are certain salts which are used, which goes as a pH modifier. Okay. So all those stuff, we need to ensure that it is fit from a regulatory standpoint for that particular market. Say for example, I'm manufacturing for Japan. Not all oils are Japan compliant. Okay, they will just reject it. You have to give the entire list of the contents which has been used in the manufacturing, and when they see that this is not compliant, they just reject it. And this has happened recently. Okay. So then you need to develop a product which is compliant with that particular country, and you have to pick up similar kind of products and excipients. So all these approvals are required. Halal, then kosher. Okay. Other several countries also have certain requirements. And this clean level, this is coming up as a new concept that everything is clean, that there is no natural, unnatural or animal derived product in that. So there are some bodies who have self approved kind of bodies, okay, who do these kind of search and then finally they give an approval. And it's not government authorized, but they are kind of bodies, okay, who have started these programs, and they are basically in US. Okay. So that was about the capsules. Almost at the end of my presentation. Formulation development service, as far as ACG is concerned, we're not saying that we're completely into the oral drug delivery system, but when it comes to these liquid fill, okay, so liquid fill we are quite equipped. Why? Because we have long experience on that. Additionally, the machines are also there. We have our ACG manufactured machine. So it comes out automatically. That expertise comes out. Okay. So we have this band filling machine and the capsule filling machines. Okay. So and it's being distributed all across the world. So anything which is required at our service, we have those in our plant in Gandhi. One important thing to understand is that this entire business of capsules, okay, it's a very micro level, micro detailed product, right? And the most important thing are the pin bars, right? Design of the pin bars, precision of the pin bars is what is going to dictate the product quality. Okay, so everything is manufactured in house. You're not dependent on anyone. You talk about any screw or any pin or whatever it is, everything is manufactured in house and they are backward integrated, and that's what makes us more reliable. Okay, to reach out to the market, and whenever it comes to replacement or changes in the shape sizes, it becomes very easy for us to adopt to that. Okay, so this is the most important. Okay, then all the spares, our capsule manufacturing machines is also there, so kind of an integrated system, right? Okay, so that's the end of the slide. When I just wanted to end up with this particular slide saying that I understand capsule is small product in the entire capsule oral drug delivery system, but I personally feel as a scientist, in the past, having some science running in the blood, that there's still a possibility to do lot many things. The reason being that we're still looking for different kind of polymers. Okay, film forming polymers, which could be used to replace not only HPMC but other there are we're talking about Pululan. Okay, and then we're talking about starch capsules. There could be multiple others. Okay, but what are those? We still do not know. Okay, so this basically opens up a huge area for research. Okay, to find out the right polymer. So it's going not only in the formulation angle, but from a backward integrated polymer science. Right, when you understand the polymers and you find out what are the film forming properties of different polymers, and then come out with the right polymer in order to develop a shell. Because this is an unending, if I give you a little bit of statistics, the demand is much higher than the supplies globally. Okay, so take all companies, around 40-50 companies across the world. Top players are 4 or 5. Okay, but still, everyone coming together is also not able to supply, and that too the quality supply is still not there. Okay. So, you guys, being present here could also be a source of, passing all this information to more that capsule is another area to think about. Okay, to give a different dimension altogether. Okay, I mean, once you start thinking, things will come out. But yes, this is something that you have to think and basically bring out some amount of innovations. One innovation I already did, formulation science. So thank you very much. I would be open for any discussions, any questions. Yes.
All these product action products, these are the primary containers where this complete finished product will be going inside this. So you might have carried the shelf life of this accelerated stability studies for this capsules or all these products. So what would be the accelerated condition for these capsules?
37, 36.
36.
Yeah, you cannot go to accelerated at 40 because they lose their integrity. Okay. So the entire capsule world is in refrigerated containers. All logistics is happening in the refrigerated, and within the campus when we are manufacturing, that's also in the air conditioned area. But when we supply also, that's always in the refrigerated conditions. So 40-75 is not something that we can think
Yes,
of.
because this question I purposely asked because many of the this thesis when we review, okay, the students they are keeping the capsules at accelerated 40-75. Okay, it is not a problem because the recommended storage condition is only 15 to 20. Okay, and the complete destruction is getting deformed.
Correct.
Above 37. Still, a student is they continue and also it is just for their clarification, only that 30-75 actually
Max.
which is the accelerated that we can say treat this as an intermediate condition
Yes.
for a longer period of time.
And it is at that temperature and humidity condition that we are saying it is 5 years ago.
Yes.
40-75 not even a month. It will lose its integrity. It's gelatin. Yes, sir.
I also wanted to ask similar question that capsule doesn't sustain in certain environments. For example, coastline, if you are some capsule manufacturing factory, then capsules turn to be soggy.
Yes.
So what is an alternative to that? Will HTMC remain intact or will it also become soggy?
I mean, when we are manufacturing, the entire manufacturing condition is within 20-25, maximum 24 as an average. So there it's not a problem. Okay, and then whenever we,
You may put it in quarantine.
yeah, and then it is packed and everything, the humidity is under
But
control.
isn't there any damage happening there in quarantine?
No. If it is kept at this 24 degrees centigrade, the room temperature, like for this air, it's fine. We keep it, we have a stability which is going on for 5 years. So these are there for past 30-40 years, so not a problem at all. But yes, you cannot go beyond that. Okay, and even when we are doing the capsule filling, this all needs to be done because that's a second exposure.
Exactly.
Manufacturing is one exposure, second exposure is during the filling. At that point of time, if sweating and now you are filling your capsules, I'm sure that there would be a problem. And specifically with hygroscopic kind of.
Exactly.
And suppose if the capsules are in a glass container or a PVDF and all, so what would be this thing? We can still keep it in a storage condition or the accelerated can be contributed in the glass container.
Yeah, I mean, but not 40 at least. I mean, the room temperature, and if you see all the nutraceutical products, they all come in HDB bottles. Okay, sometimes they also add, if you see this Nexium, okay, so they have added the silica gel pouch, desiccant. Okay, so it's around 0.5 grams or 1 gram. Now it depends upon, because if you put those silica bags also inside, don't feel that everything is fine, because that silica is meant for picking up the moisture. Now it doesn't know where I am picking the moisture from. It could be from the capsule shells also. And then if you put too much, then there will be a possibility that the capsule becomes brittle.
Still semi-permeable.
Yeah. So those studies are extremely important when we do this capsule kind of formulations.
I have a question. So, have you done some comparative study of your ACG delayed release capsules for the release profiles versus if you take a regular RX or HX capsules which you're saying and be coated with a film forming polymer for delayed release?
All possible.
So which one? I mean, have you done some study and which one came out?
We need not to do. There is a product which
Okay.
Morning has come up with.
Okay.
Okay, so what they have done, they are masters of user.
Yes.
Okay, so simply the coating machine that we have used, the same machine was used, therefore coating the capsules. Okay, so they have done a fine coating of uridine on top of it. Okay, and by this process, what you have is, although there is inside there is HPMC, but on top there is a fine layer of pure methacrylic acid polymers. Okay, and that is sufficient enough, that fine coat is sufficient enough to block the 0.1 normal HCl. There is another technology, okay, that we do not have, but if you go to the patents and all, you can find out. And an application has also been found that this dip, you do a double dip. First dip you do with the polymer, HPMC or gelatin, and the second dip you put it into, after drying, you put it into the next Utah solution. Okay, so it gets coated. Okay, now the dimensions and the fineness and accuracy of those coat thickness is something that we have to work out, but motamoti this works. Okay, and they have come out with two different kind of products. One is FS and one is L30. Now aqueous systems are now.
So the resolution profile of theirs is better than the.
It's not better. It is fitting to the entry requirement, which is 2 hours.
So I have another question. When we add herbal extracts into the capsules, the stability is less because just like you told, if we keep it at cool temperatures, it is fine. Generally, when we have temperatures like 35, 38, so the bad odor breaches out of the capsules and if the container is filled, even if it is whatever container, rest of the containers you are using. So is there a way that could be resolved?
I think you could go with banding or
Banding,
banding.
but seal banding, right?
Yeah, see, the one which I showed you.
Right, but okay.
And second could be capsule and capsule.
Okay.
Where you have a bigger capsule, put the herbal drug in the smaller one, and you may have some. Even the flavored capsule concept is also there.
Okay.
Okay, I mean we don't do that, but and none of the companies do, but it is on a customized requirement basis. You can put in flavor in the capsule shell during manufacturing. It's not that you guys will be doing. Manufacturers, while manufacturing, will put in the flavor in that. Okay, and then that flavor, say for example, this holds perfect for dosage forms like this omega-3 fish oils, which gives really pungent smell, regurgitation. So in those cases, this all can help. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you mentioned about the HX brand, delayed release, which where you said you have pectin and gelangam, and 30 minutes it remains insoluble in acidic pH. So whether you have tried for its alcohol resistant or
No. We have not gone to that extent. This is, as I said, that this alcohol resistance is probably for the pharma requirement. Okay, but this product was basically triggered to address the requirement of the neutral segment, where you have probiotics and the enzymatic, where they want a certain amount of delay. Okay, so just to give that little amount, because when you take probiotic and it directly get exposed to 0.1 normal HCl, then it's gone. 70-80% of the product is gone. But if you add this, put it into this capsule, it can delay to a certain extent before it enters into the intestine.
and spoke about titanium dioxide restrictions, whether it is only in food industry or it has come in the cosmetic industry also, because it is ultimately about occupational hazard.
No, it's not occupational. It's only a therapeutic safety purpose, and it is only restricted to food now.
People who are into the plant who are exposed to titanium dioxide.
The quantity of which goes, it goes into the solution. Okay, and not to what I feel. I mean that could be. I have not done that level of study, but the quantity of titanium is very less, which goes actually into the system, and then it is into the liquid form. I mean it's suspended in the dipping, right? So that exposure is not there. I mean it's not too much. Okay, but having said that, it's more focused towards the nutraceuticals. Okay, the nutra or dietary supplement. The reason being that there is hardly any limitation over there. You don't get whiteness, you add more. How much? I don't know. Right? But this does not apply to pharma because everything is under the IAG limit. There are certain limits and everything is under control. So it cannot happen because of certain changes. You just keep on adding. So that is the reason that there is a now discussion going on whether it is really meaningful to ban titanium dioxide in pharma. Okay, so the entire discussion is around that.
So
So, but titanium dioxide का इतना बड़ा conversation is going with regards to sunscreens also, right? They are saying it's quite toxic in nanoparticles. Titanium dioxide nanoparticles are toxic for the skin and it's causing cancer. So there also is going to be
Yeah.
maybe coming in some regulations.
It can come. I mean, cosmetic is something which is on the third phase.
Yeah.
First has this food and nutra. Second will come this pharma, which they will take a decision by end of 2024. And by 25 March, they will be very clear about whether to impose the regulations, not to impose, or partially impose. Okay, so that decision will be taken by the European agency. Okay, and then probably cosmetic could be under the radar. But
Because there's a lot of conversation going on about this titanium dioxide nanoparticles for sunscreens
Yeah.
used a lot in the market. Sir, I wanted to ask that you have spoken about Tylenol capsule. That how do you join the band? Like there's a
There's no band. There's no band. It's
So
an
how do
empty
you-
place.
Yeah. So how
It's
do you
empty.
join it?
No, it's like, as I said, this is the tablet.
Yeah.
One capsule goes like this, the cap of the body water is, and the other goes like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't put together.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like this.
Just join.
That's it. That's it.
And it does not come off.
No. And you add a little bit of temperature on top of it,
Okay.
or it gets fit.
Okay.
Okay, sometimes they also use adhesives. Inside, adhesives, I mean, these are natural adhesives which are edible, not very good. So it will be like it will get stuck.
Okay. So no sealing process. You just something like that.
It is an automatic process using that internal adhesive on the inner wall.
Thank you.
And this is happening at the formulation, after the formulation is formed. There are different kind of machines to fit in these capsules. Yes.
A transparent capsule as compared to a non-transparent one, is the opacifier is the only difference in the composition or certain other changes of
No, it's only opacifier. Opacifier, and if you add colors also, there are different kind of colors. Some colors like iron oxides, it gives an opacity. But there are other colors which imparts a color, but it will not be opaque. So it just gives a slight color,
Also, the dissolution profile will be different for a transparent or a non-transparent.
Hardly matters. Because see, the concentration of titanium dioxide, if you add, it's 1 to 2%. And the picture which you could not see, okay, and the color will be like this, that's completely white. Okay, so with 2% you get that level of whiteness. Maximum 1 to 1.5% of iron oxide will give you an opaque capsule. Okay, so that 1 or 2% will hardly make any difference in resolution.
Question, sir,
Yeah.
from a pediatric point of view,
Yeah.
any innovations in hard gel capsules apart from the color or
No. Nothing special for pediatric. And I mean, pediatric are usually solutions and suspension. So there's any focus over there. I mean, it makes no sense going there in that form. Yes. You have questions?
He's acting.
That's it? Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. It is really very informative session, and your session provided us new dimension to look towards the capsule. So quickly, I will summarize the session. Sir has started with the journey in its capsule technology field. Also spoke about importance of the capsule technology to the customer, pharmacists, scientists. Also briefed about ACG Capsule company, presence, facility, various technology available with them. Sir took us through the history of capsule, how evolution takes place through the capsule. Then what are the unmet needs in the solid oral dosage form? What is a capsule manufacturing technology? Sir spoke about the sprinkle capsule, different capsule size, volume capacity. He also introduced us the HPMC capsule details, like what are the features it have. Apart from that, sir also introduced us to the ACG capsule, different types like immediate release, modified release, special application capsule, value addition capsule, and sir they briefed about each and every capsule, ACG capsule, with their feature, advantages, even their size. Apart from that, sir also mentioned about the value-added features like issue of the titanium dioxide, which is which got the which is in the discussion related to their carcinogenicity, and still the issue is pending towards this particular uses of titanium dioxide. Even ACG capsule, different types like T-safe capsule is available, end-to-end range of capsules, then branched ACG branched capsule, printed capsule. Then at the end, ACG certification to get, I need to say various certification to get the approval for capsules, formulation competency, formulation development services at ACG. Then sir spoke about the business continuity at ACG, how they are having in-house production facilities so that they are not dependent on other work, and this is all sir mentioned in their session. So really we got very informative things related to the capsule, different types of capsule available. Thank you so much, sir. So now I request Principal Ma'am, respected Dr. Subhashis, Madam, to felicitate Dr. Subhashis Chakraborty sir by giving memento and certificate as a token of appreciation.